Dart, moving, dancing, twirling, picks up the first down and runs out of bounds. And the crowd wants a flag with Mitchell out there going to Adoree Jackson's side a lot. Here's Scadaboo to the end zone. Touchdown.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Athletics Podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. So we will start off with obvious, as I haven't been here in a minute. Just haven't found the time, and so I do apologize, but we are here. I should be back here, by the way, on Saturday as well. I'm gonna be back here in the studio as of Saturday, and we're just gonna get the ball rolling. So today we're gonna talk about last week's games. As you saw in the start of the clip there, we were talking about the good old Giants and Eagles game, and that was a game that nobody expected it to go the way that it did. Giants defeat the Eagles 34-17. Both rookie Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo are looking fantastic in that game. And overall, that offense really played well. Also, hands off to the defense for holding the Eagles to 17 points. And so that game was just amazing. We got to see Jackson Dart run a couple touchdowns. We saw Cam himself get a touchdown, as you saw there in the beginning clip. And we have seen so much progression from the two of these guys and how much they've already put in impact on this team. And I think when the Giants have their wide receivers nice and healthy, I think the offense for the Giants is going to look good this year. Defensively, they can improve, but I mean, if this is like the future for the Giants with, Mike Nabbers, Cam Scadaboo, Jackson Dart, it's going to be an amazing season for them offensively, as long as they can keep it together and keep the ball rolling. And so, like I said, Giants capped it off quite well. They were up 13-10 in the first quarter, and then from there had a consistent of one touchdown per quarter, while the Eagles could not score at all in the second half. So good job on this, Giants defense. Got to give the Giants defense some props, holding them to no second half touchdowns whatsoever. Jalen Hurts threw 24 for 33, 283 yards for one touchdown and an interception. Can't mistake them all. Jackson Dart, 17 for 25, 195 yards and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley had himself a solid game of 12 carries for 58 yards. Scadaboo had an amazing game of 19 carries for 98 yards and 3 touchdowns, just barely under 100 rushing yards. And it would have been actually really good for him. I don't think he's actually even hit 100 yet all season. So good for him. Wan'Dale Robinson on the Giants, 6 receptions, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Gotta say, I loved watching Wan'Dale Robinson played. He actually did very amazing for, everything considered. He's their slot receiver / fourth string. And so his performance was actually really solid, considering he had to be kind of like the receiving backbone, because not really much, the Giants got going for them in the backfield. A lot of young people. So there's that. But amazing overall game from the Giants. So putting the Giants to 2-4. So the Giants are still trailing, but since they've started Dart, they've gone 2-1. They've only lost one game and have won twice since starting Dart. So they went from 0-3 to 2-4. So I'd say, as much as, I'm a Seahawks fan and I miss Russell Wilson being the way that he is or was, it's just that now he's not the quarterback that he used to be. And so with that being said, I think it's best that the Giants, let him, play backup for now until he either retires. I don't really know what his plan is, but Either way, though, the Giants did well, cooked, I would say, 34-17. Speaking of that, we'll go down the line for last week's games. We had the Broncos and Jets. Broncos winning 13-11. Chargers and Dolphins played. The Chargers won 29-27. Rams won 17-3. Cardinals and Colts played, and they won 31-27. Cowboys and Panthers played 27-30. Panthers surprisingly got a win on the Cowboys in that one. Not really sure, honestly. I hope with the deadline, the trade deadline being around the corner, the Cowboys really get themselves some. They need some help on defense. Defense is it seems like defense is really what's been going wrong for them this season. Ever since losing Parsons, this defense has been very sloppy. So hopefully we see better things from the Cowboys going forward. Patriots and Saints. Patriots won 25-19. So great job for the Patriots. Patriots are actually leading their division currently 4-2 on top. They're actually surprising, very surprising to say the least. So congratulations to the Patriots. They're doing quite well with Drake May and all the other young weapons they have. Browns and Steelers. Steelers beat the Browns 23-9. Titans and Raiders played. Raiders got them 20-10. 49ers, Buccaneers. Buccaneers got 30-19 on the 49ers. Bengals and Packers. Packers won the game 27-18. Lions and Chiefs. Chiefs got a good one, 30-17. Falcons and Bills. This was a surprise game, but Falcons beat the Bills 24-14. Josh Allen not having a great game himself. A little sloppy there. Wasn't too impressed watching that game from him. But, I feel like a lot of the quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, right now, they're all doing great, but, they're not doing, because we assumed at this point in the season the top 2, top 3 quarterbacks would be pretty obvious. But with players like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, all these quarterbacks that I just named are having a season, I would say, that nobody expected, especially Sam Darnold. No one expected Sam Darnold to perform well, considering he was leaving the Vikings to come to Seahawks. Even as a Seahawks fan, I was a little nervous, but I was excited. I won't lie, I was excited. I've been excited about Sam Darnold, and he's having the season that I really am excited for him to have. Speaking of Seattle and the Jags game, there's one play I really want to take a look at together. This was quite the impressive play. I want to keep in mind before we show this clip, this was the very first play of this drive. Let's take a look.
Walker, but just hasn't been very active as Darnold sets to throw and floating one down the middle. And Smith-Njigba has it. Touchdown Seahawks.
When you can't use your hands, you've got that much space right there. And Njigba gets on the toes of the DB. It just says, see you later. I'm faster than you. And Sam Darnold throwing a dime.
Okay, we'll come back in. So as you saw, 61-yarder dime, first play of the drive. That play really got Seattle in the driver's seat in the game against the Jags. And in that game, we also defensively looked amazing. 7 sacks. 7 sacks on Trevor Lawrence in that game. Amazing stuff. We saw some great defensive work from Seattle. Same with offensively, was amazing. Jackson Smith-Njigba is having an absolute season. He's looking he's already a top stat-wise. He's already a top 5 receiver. He's doing fantastic this season so far. I hope to continue to see that hard work and ethic from him going into the end of the season. I hope that's the case. He's doing quite well. Also, a game I want to go back and take a look at is the Patriots and 49. Oh, sorry, Saints. Sorry, my bad. Saints and Patriots game. I gotta hand it off to Drake May. Speaking of young quarterbacks, Drake May is having also a phenomenal season, I would say. Considering last year was considered like more of a half season, he didn't really play the full season last year. So getting to see him play this year has been wonderful. He's doing absolutely fantastic. So I gotta say, I'm pretty excited to see what this kid and the Patriots offense in general moving forward looks like. Plus, you gotta give some credit to that defense. That defense is pulling out some magic right now. They're doing some magic for sure.
See where the officials mark the football and they say first down Patriots.
Force the ball a little bit to Diggs. He's your best weapon on offense.
May pulls it back wide open. It's Henry. First down and more.
From hoses to hand tools, lighting to ladders, Grainger has the right stuff right when you need it. So you can fix.
But this is where he does like to take those chances.
Here they come. May steps up in the pocket, delivers. First down Patriots. First catch of the day for Diggs. Play on third down to get the first. Potentially leave enough time for the Saints to get it back, but now the Patriots threatening. May takes a shot down the field. It's Booty. Touchdown. There is a late flag thrown right at the end of the play after Booty had crossed the goal line. If it sticks, it's a 29-yard touchdown completion. Confirm that Booty did indeed cross before he was knocked down with the left knee.
Yep.
Certainly appears to be in from that vantage point. Great angle from our crew here. High formation set in front of Stevenson. Henry there on the keeper. It's May waiting for the signal. Officials trying to get to the bottom of the pile. Boy, they're looking at each other. Nothing official yet. There's the football squeaking out, and they did not get it.
Boy, I don't know how he didn't. It looked like at least his helmet was way over the.
All right, we're gonna tune back in. So they ultimately got the touchdown. They ruled that the touchdown from Booty didn't count. But either way, though, he got to the 1 yard line and they just kind of rushed it in. They just did a Eagles tush push right in there. So either way, amazing work from the Patriots. I got to hand it off to their new head coach, Mike Verbal, who was the former head coach of the Titans. I got to say, ever since he's been here, he's doing very well for, the Patriots. Like, I think his coaching is what the Patriots definitely needed for sure. But in general, though, there's finally building a really good team right now. And so I hope to see, more for them in the future. I don't know. I don't know if I would consider the Patriots to be I wouldn't really consider them a team that might be, going all the way. But they're definitely going to be a team that's could easily make the playoffs at the rate they're going. And even, like I said, I don't really think it matters because the thing is, the Patriots right now look really good to potentially win, possibly. Maybe, everyone is picking on the Patriots that, now that Tom Brady's gone, we probably won't see the Patriots in the Super Bowl forever. But I mean, honestly, though, it's very possible. It's very possible in the next 3 to 5 years, we could possibly see the Patriots in the Super Bowl again. Like, that's at this rate, they're looking like that's possible. I mean, we are in week 7 or 8, and Patriots are right now tied with the Buffalo Bills, who the Buffalo Bills have gone to the AFC Championship multiple times in the last 5 years. So you're talking about the Patriots, who are currently sitting on top of the division right now. I would say that the Patriots definitely have a conversation for, a potential future Super Bowl. It's very possible. Now, obviously that can all change, but right now though, they're looking really good. That's all I'm going to simply say. Speaking of things that are looking good but also looking a little crazy, let's take a look at as we are getting close to the deadline, as I had mentioned. A lot of teams are looking to either trade or, step away from current players and make some new changes. There's some good ones out there, like the idea of A.J. Brown possibly going to the Patriots. That would be interesting. That would be weird. I don't know. If the Eagles can't afford A.J. Brown and need to get rid of him, then I guess that kind of makes sense. But I would keep A.J. Brown because him and Smith on the wide receiver sets for Jalen Hurts has been really well this season. So I don't know if the Eagles should trade, the Patriots A.J. Brown, but that's looking like something that could possibly happen. Also, Alvin Kamara possibly going to the Chiefs is something that's been of topic as of lately too. That would be interesting too because the Chiefs could really use a running back. They don't really have much of a running game going on right now. Their running game has been very quiet as of this season. And so someone like Alvin Kamara, who's on a team, I would say Alvin doesn't deserve to be on the Saints, because he's actually doing very well. He's, as of right now, he's definitely, stat-wise, he's roughly around that, top 20-ish, give or take, season, running back right now, stat-wise. He's a top 20 right now, or at least low balling top 20, maybe around 18 or 17, somewhere around there. But my point is he's on a team that's failing. They're failing miserably, the Saints, and he's doing amazing. He's still putting up almost 100-yard games, if not over 100-yard rushing games. And so he's doing his job and doing great at it. While the Saints aren't really doing anything for him, the Saints right now, I would say, are like the Browns of the league right now. They're definitely the worst team probably. That's them and the Titans right now are obviously and debatably the worst teams right now. But let's take a look over here at one that I want to look at with you and I.
Tariq Woolen to the Cowboys. Seattle, look, they're in contention in their division right now. He has been struggling a little bit. I'm not sure what the Cowboys are thinking across the board. I just don't even know what the Cowboys are thinking. So what would you think about this potential trade?
If you're a homeowner in Vermont and you're still paying for electricity, then you could be missing out on free government assistance.
I hate it. I don't like to use the word hate. I don't like my kids to use the word hate.
Yeah, but
let's
you've used
keep
it twice
real
already.
Here. Yeah, I have. I won't tell you that Producer Tito made me do that. I don't want to call out Producer Tito. But the reality is this. I don't like the trade at all. I think that part we can agree on because you talked about it. Tariq Woolen is not playing well in Seattle. He's not going to magically get better by going to a worse defense that desperately needs cornerbacks who play better. They have Deron Bland. They have Trevon Diggs who have been okay, but they've also battled injuries or are coming back from injuries. But there's so many other holes in that team. And look, the Seahawks aren't particularly deep in the secondary. They've managed to get by with their pass rush, with their front seven. And Tariq Woolen is in the last year of his deal.
And I want to tune in just for a second and quickly point out this. Yards per game, pass yarding, and third down. All of these are dead last and then 31. So, yeah, this just goes to show, this is how bad the Cowboys defense desperately needs to be fixed. Hey, can't win them all, though. But, yeah, if you're a Cowboys fan right now, your defense is pretty much cooked. I mean, you guys got rid of both Lawrence. You sent Lawrence to the Seahawks. Thank you again. You sent him to Seattle. And then you sent Micah Parsons to Green Bay, Wisconsin. So you guys have lost a lot. You still have, I wouldn't say the Cowboys, they may have, dead last and everything, but and they are battling injuries, that is true. But I would say that the Cowboys, when they are healthy, and if they could get a few extra defensive, improvements, I think they would be just fine. I think even now they're doing just okay. I don't think they're doing terrible. they're not really doing that bad. Like, they're really not. But yet again, they have kind of, the Cowboys in general have been kind of in a hole for a while. And so they don't really do themselves justice by letting themselves fall and lose so much in 1 year's time. Because to be fair, they were a top 5 defense as of last year. And this year, they're dead last in almost everything. So I'd be curious to see, again about the idea of like Seattle. First of all, I don't think Seattle would trade Woolen. I think Woolen hasn't been doing the best, but to be fair, he's very young. He's only 25. He's pretty young. And so I'm not really worried about it. Him and Devin Witherspoon are doing great. I think Seattle could honestly use like a strong safety or something of that nature. We could really honestly use someone of defensive caliber, which actually that was something I also wanted to show you guys as well while we're here today. We're just going to take a look at this. We don't need the audio. There's no need for audio. So this is also some proposed trades ahead of the deadline, which is November 4th. And so Bills possibly trade for Woolen. So Bills are possibly looking at, Seattle's Woolen, which also is surprising too, but Buffalo could also use a good cornerback. So seeing someone like Woolen possibly going to them is possible. But again, I think Seattle would stick with what they have. But Seattle is looking, like I said, I think we definitely need like safeties. Like we need people like Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick has been doing really well even for the Steelers. He's been kind of quiet as the last year or two, but Seattle's excited to see someone like that possibly join us. That would be awesome. It would really make up for the fact that we tried to get Jamal Adams in the past, and the Jamal Adams didn't really work out for us. Commanders possibly trading for David Njoku, which that would also be pretty cool. David Njoku is actually really good, so I think the Commanders could really do well with someone like that. Also, Patriots getting back Jacoby Myers, their former first-round pick, number 32. I think that would also be good for them with how they are doing offensively right now. And Jacoby Myers clearly is very unhappy with his time in the Raiders. And so, him possibly going back to the Patriots would not be impossible, and it would be pretty cool. So, yeah, I hope to see maybe that could happen. But we'll come back here to take a look at some, we're going to keep the football real quick before we move on. We're about to finish up on football. But we want to talk about some college ball. Everybody loves some college ball. Penn State head coach James Franklin firing is borderline nuts, is apparently what the headline says. And so in a nutshell, Penn State, as of a couple weeks ago to a month, were 3-0. They were undefeated. And then they've lost their last 3 games in a row. And suddenly Penn State decided to fire him, which is very interesting to say the least, considering, for starters, it's the start of the year. Who's gonna be head coach for the remainder of the season? Do you have a backup already? Do you have someone in place? There's already so many questions for Penn State, and all of this is happening as of today. And so it's really weird. It's super early in the season to fire your head coach, especially because you guys are still 3-3. 3-3 still, it's still 50%. It's easy to come back from this. 3 games in a row does suck. I understand why you want to be all right, we've lost 3 games in a row. What's the reasoning for that? But to fire your head coach because you lost 3 games in a row is definitely very peculiar. And I don't know why Penn State would have done this. So, if anybody is a Penn State fan and could tell me more about this, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, it's looking like they got nothing going on for them right now. And so with that being said, though, we are going to stray away from football for a minute. We're going to take a look at some NHL. The Hockey League is here for everybody. I'll be honest, I don't honestly really pay attention to hockey enough. So I'm hoping I could at some point have a Boston Bruins fan on here. And give me a Boston Bruins fan in here. Maybe they can educate me, educate me on the Bruins in general, but educate me more on hockey, because that's something I need to be educated more on. And so there's some games tonight. We got a game that's going on in an hour and a half, starting off with the Avalanche and the Blue Jackets. I know that the Blue Jackets were pretty good a couple years ago, but it doesn't look like they're doing too good now. Kraken and the Senators, that's going to be really good. Predators and Canadiens. I know that the Predators were good about 5 or 6 years ago, around that 2019, 2020 time before COVID. I think they were pretty good from what I remember. Panthers and Devils. Jets and Flyers. Rangers and Maple Leafs. Oilers and Islanders. The Canucks and the Stars. The Hurricanes versus the Ducks. The Bruins versus the Golden Knights. And the Penguins and the Kings. Okay, I gotta point out that the Ducks brought back their original logo. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Hold on. I love their old logo. I love their original logo. Can I hold on? The Ducks. I love their old logo. I want to pull up a picture. Okay, so this is what looks like their new logo, because this was their old logo. Was this but they brought back these guys, because these guys were like like right here. This was like their original mask, like this was the original identity, was like the whole like penguin looking mask with the duck and the sticks behind it. Super clean. Super clean. So I think it's cool that they brought it back, and it's in like this like red kind of orange color, like reddish, it's like an orange color. Yeah, it's like orange is white. Orange and white seems like their primary colors, which I think that's pretty cool. So that's pretty dope. I forgot that they brought back their old logo. Someone will have to tell me, when did they do that, because that had to be very recent. That had to be within like the last 5 years. And so with that being said, though, we're going to see that coming up. Bruins, again, though, tonight play against Golden Knights. I know that the Golden Knights, actually, Vegas has been they've been pretty good. They've been pretty good through the years. And so I'm curious to see if they can beat the Bruins tonight. The Bruins are looking really good. Bruins are doing well. And so that's pretty super dope. So that's my NHL. I know it was very fast, but like I said, I need to get more familiar. So I will do that. I will do that now that the season's starting. But baseball, though, baseball's doing pretty interesting. We got the Brewers and the LA Dodgers right now, and Blue Jays and Mariners. We're about to be in the World Series. We're pretty much here. We're on the brink of our seats. Today, both teams face off actually in about 35 minutes. The Brewers and the Dodgers play. The Dodgers are right now up on the Bruins 2-0. So the Bruins really need to win this game. Seattle's up against the Blue Jays right now, which honestly is a surpriser, I think. I would say Blue Jays coming in this game looked like the better team, but the Mariners are really looking well. They right now got the lead on the Blue Jays, so who knows? We might see either, both the finales tonight, or we're going to see, who's it going to be? Who's going to win it all. And so I'm super excited. Baseball is coming to an amazing and fun closing, because who knows? Maybe we'll see Seattle and the Dodgers. I mean, that's what it's looking like. Seattle and the Dodgers, the Blue Jays and maybe the Brewers, or maybe Blue Jays and Dodgers. I mean, Dodgers don't look like they're going to lose this series. It looks like the Dodgers are going to go right back to the championship again. But Mariners could be a surprising opponent. I don't think Seattle was a team that anybody thought would be here right now. They're definitely the underdog team out of these four. So Seattle is for sure coming up. They're trying to take down the Blue Jays, which if they can take down the Blue Jays, that's pretty impressive. I mean, the Blue Jays are awesome. I mean, they're here for a reason. And so with that being said, though, tonight's games, like I said, we got tonight we've got the Brewers playing at 6, and then the Blue Jays and the Mariners tonight at 8:30. So back-to-back kind of games. So excited to see how that goes. I would love to see an upset. I'd love to see some back and forth, maybe some hand fly-ins, maybe some jabs, 1-2. Who knows? And then another sport that's about to start soon, too, that we haven't got a chance to talk about is the NBA. We are back, baby. I'm so excited for some basketball. I'm so excited. I missed basketball. I'm so ready. The NBA is looking hot. It's looking really good. So many teams to talk about. The Mavericks look really good. The Lakers look really good. The Celtics look good. The Rockets look good. So many good teams looking so good. I mean, look at the Kings, dude. The Kings have a crazy-looking roster right now. The Kings have a roster of Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, Dominic Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, and I'm forgetting somebody. So I do apologize. I am forgetting somebody. I can't remember, but either way, though, their starting lineup looks really good. Sacramento looks like they've got a crazy starting offense, so that'll be amazing. Oh, how could I forget? Zach LaVine. Like, how could I forget Zach LaVine? He's so good. But yeah, the Kings surprisingly look really good. They look surprisingly good. They're going to have to build some chemistry, though, because a lot of them are new on the roster. I mean, Sabonis, I'm pretty sure, is the only person on the starting roster who was here last year. So, definitely going to have to build some chemistry. But basketball is looking so good. I'm so excited for everybody to tune in and check it out. It's going to be awesome. I got to say, though, the NBA with also on the Warriors, too, we got to talk about is Seth Curry being on the Warriors with Steph Curry, brothers on the same team. Also, another team that's got is first time in ever trio. We got all three of the Antetokounmpo brothers. All three of them are on the Bucks as of today. So officially, we have the entire Antetokounmpo family here. And so that'll be awesome. That's great coming into the season. Like I said, the NBA is so hot, dude. It's so exciting. It's just so awesome. I'm so happy. Like, I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too. Everything that's going on in the sports world is great. We're doing amazing. We're looking amazing. I'm excited. I am full-blown excited. There's nothing that could change my mind about that. I am happy. The NFL is looking great. I'm ready for Sunday. This coming Sunday, we have some games. We have just so much going on. But the big hitter, though, is tonight's Thursday night football. We're coming back in. Pittsburgh Steelers and Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I want to express how funny this game is. All right. Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco have a combined age of 81. I don't think in NFL history we have ever seen a quarterback age that high. That's insane. So both these quarterbacks are averaging 81 of age between the two of them. So it's going to be quite interesting to see a divisional rivalry match like this on a Thursday night football game in a very high altitude experience. We are so ready for this. We are so tuned in. Hello, world. Hello, people on the streets. People staring in. Hello. Hi. But yes, Pittsburgh Steelers and Cincinnati Bengals tonight. I mean, I feel like as long as everything goes the way for them, I think the Steelers should win this game. But hey, dude, that offense is still looking good though. Joe Burrow is still having an amazing. He's still doing amazing. He's still doing his thing. Joe Burrow is still on fire. So I can't really say much about him. His team is shitting bricks. In his game against the Jags, he didn't do too well. But like I said though, he's injured. Sorry, I do apologize. He's injured. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting today is Joe Flacco. I did just mention that a minute ago, so that's on me. Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow. That's hilarious. You got two Joes on the same team. I love it. I think Joe Flacco though, we shouldn't sleep on Joe Flacco completely though. I think Joe Flacco, last year with the Browns, he did really well in his little bit of time that he did with the Browns. So I don't want to sleep on him in tonight's game because he could actually come out, and have an amazing first game of the season, like first real game of the season. And he's in a position where he's not fighting for his, spot as bad. And so, it'd be nice to see him play. We haven't seen him play since last year. And so seeing Joe Burrow out here would be amazing. Well, not Joe Burrow, sorry, Joe Flacco. My apologies, keep saying Burrow. Joe and Joe. Joe and Joe. It's okay. But anyway, I'm glad to be here tonight with you guys here in the studio. But with that being said, I think we're going to wrap things up for today. I am so grateful to be back in the studio. I will be back here as of Saturday. I hope you guys are ready and locked and loaded for the season as I am. I am ready. I hope you guys are ready. And like I said, thank you so much. Happy Thursday. Enjoy what's left of the evening. Enjoy yourselves. Get ready. And I will see you again Saturday. Tune out, everybody. Goodbye now.